Thank you for watching the Memory Lab orientation video for the South Pasadena Public Library. Once you have completed watching this video, you will be ready to use our Memory Lab. Today we're going to cover a few different topics. First, our introduction to the Memory Lab. What is the Memory Lab? What can you do in the Memory Lab? Then we're going to talk about digitizing photos, slides, negatives, and documents using our scanners. And then we will talk about 8mm and Super 8mm film. So first and foremost, let's go over the basics of the Memory Lab. What is a Memory Lab? A Memory Lab is a lot of things. It's basically a free-form space where library patrons can come in and they can digitize their personal materials. We provide all of the resources and the knowledge and the instructions, and you do all the digitizing. So you are taking your physical formats and you are turning them into digital formats. What is digitization? Again, digitization is the process of turning physical media into digital media. So we're taking old film reels, we're taking printed photographs, we're taking cassette tapes, and we are turning them into digital format so that they can be accessed on a computer. Why is digitization important? There are three primary reasons why we think about digitization as something that we really ought to do, or at least have a knowledge of. First, organization. I'm sure a lot of you have stacks and stacks of photos in your home that are totally out of order, that you don't know what to do with, and we are here to provide a service in which you have the opportunity to organize those photos, to really go through them to determine what is most meaningful to you and what would you like to have in an alternate format so that it's better preserved and so that you can maybe get rid of some of that clutter. Second, security. If you have stacks and stacks of documents, photos, videos, keepsakes, those sort of things in your home, those are all personal assets that may contain personal information. So we are creating a digital copy of your records so that you have an extra level of security in case those original records are destroyed. In case something were to happen, they accidentally get thrown away or shredded or water damaged, anything could happen to those things. And so that you don't lose them, this is that extra level of security. And finally, legacy. Your children, your grandchildren, your loved ones may want to have access to these records, and this is an opportunity to put them in a format in which they're easier to share with everyone. They are also an important part of the cultural record. Your photos, your documents, your videos, those are all representations of culture, of our culture, of your culture. And so we want to make sure that those are stored and that legacy is preserved. Our most popular resource in the Memory Lab by far is probably the scanner for digitizing photos, slides, negatives, and documents. We're going to go over how to use the scanner right now. Just keep in mind that these written instructions will be available during your appointment. So let's go over some basics first. The scanner that we use is the Epson V850 Pro. When you come into the Memory Lab, the scanner will already be on and it will be connected to a laptop. First, you are going to plug your storage device, either your USB or your external hard drive, into the laptop. Then you are going to click this icon, the Epson scan icon on the desktop. And once you click that, a box like this one will appear. So this is where you will choose all of your settings. The settings you select are going to depend on what you are scanning, which we'll go over next. If you are scanning photographs, you're going to do a few different things. First, you want to make sure that the mode you're scanning in is professional mode, and you can change that right up here. And then you're going to make sure the document type says reflective. The auto exposure type is going to be photo, image type 24-bit color, and resolution. This says 300, but you're actually going to change it to 600 DPI. DPI stands for dots per inch, so it's basically the quality of your photo, and 600 is archival standard. So that's what you're going to go with. Then You're going to click down here, and this is where you will change your settings to save the scanned photos. So this box appears right here, your file save settings, and you're going to click on other, and then that is when you will route this to your storage device. You can also change the prefix and the start number here. So that's basically when you scan a photo, what the file name is going to be. It's going to be this prefix, so IMG, and then you can start at number 1. You can make it say prefix photo 1, however you prefer. Image format type is your choice. You can either do JPEG, TIFF, PNG. If you have any specific questions about your preferences or which is best for what, you can always contact the local history librarian. Then you'll click OK to make sure that that's preserved as you want it and where your photos will go. Then you are going to put your photo on the scanning bed, and you're going to click Preview. Your preview will pop up here, and that is when you will use the marquee tool right here to draw a little square around the image, just to make sure that you're scanning the actual image. You're not scanning the entire flatbed. If you scan the entire flatbed, then what's going to happen is you're going to have all of this white space will show up in your final image, and you'll have to crop it anyway. Once you have your marquee around the photo, it's going to be that little dotted line. You can kind of see it here. You will click Scan, and then the photo will scan, and it will save to your storage device using that file name. If you have photographic slides, the process is slightly different than just scanning regular print photos. The first thing you're going to do is remove the document mat from the top of the scanner. So that's this little white thing that you will see on top of the scanning bed. You're just going to go ahead and remove that. And then we have these little trays that you will insert your slides into. So the slides you're going to insert face down. And then you will hook that slide holder onto the scanning bed right here. And then you're going to change your settings. So the document type will be film with film holder, image type 24-bit color, and the resolution you're going to want to make sure you have it very high. It's going to be 3200 dpi. Again, that's dots per inch. That is the quality of the photo. And you're going to make sure that whenever you're scanning slides or negatives for that matter, it's at least 3200 dpi. So then you will scan after you select your save settings like we just discussed, and this little preview is going to come up. Make sure that where it says normal, you can see right here, make sure that you actually have thumbnail selected, and then each slide inside your little slide holder is going to show up as a thumbnail image right here, just like this, little squares. If everything looks good, then you will go ahead and click scan, and those photos, they will all save as individual files to your storage device. One of the other capabilities that we have with the Epson scanner is the ability to scan 35mm film strips. So when that box shows up where you select all of your settings for negatives, make sure that your document type again says film with film holder. Your image type is going to depend on the type of negative. If it is a color negative, it's going to be 24-bit color. If you are scanning black and white negatives, you're going to select 16-bit grayscale. Again, the resolution is 3200 dpi. First step is going to be, again, to remove that cover from the flatbed scanner, that white cover. You're going to take that off. And then we will have film holders there for you that match up with the scanning bed. So you will insert your film into the film holder. You will close the film holder, make sure it snaps shut, and then you're going to line it up with the triangles that are pointing toward each other, so it should fit in there securely. You'll close the scanning bed, and you will do the exact same process as you do with the slides. You'll go ahead and click Preview, and then you're going to view the individual negatives will pop up, and then you'll click Scan, and those negatives will save as individual image files. Finally, you can always just scan regular paper documents on the flatbed scanner. This is really good for if you have certificates like birth certificates, diplomas, special documents that you really want to preserve. This is a really good option for that. So when your option box pops up, you will select the document type as reflective. You're going to make sure that that cover that you removed for the slides and for the negatives, that is back on there. You want to make sure that's on. The auto exposure type is going to be document, image type 24-bit color, and then the resolution we recommend again 600 dpi, which is archival standard for documents. So first you're gonna lift up the flatbed scanner, put that cover on. Really easy. You're going to put your paper right down. There's a little arrow in the corner you'll see right there. Line it up with that arrow. Close the lid, and then you can preview the image, and then select scan, and again it will save to your storage device. The other piece of equipment currently available in the Memory Lab is the Wolverine. The Wolverine is the scanner that we use for 8mm and Super 8mm film. The first thing to know about the Wolverine is that you will need your own SD memory card, and the SD memory card should be no bigger than 32 gigabytes. And when you come in, you're going to insert your SD card into the back of the Wolverine. This is where everything is going to get stored. If you do not have your own SD card, we cannot offer one to you, so you will not be able to scan 8mm and Super 8. Second, once your memory card is inserted into the back of the device, you're going to mount your film reel on the left shaft, and then you're going to route the film through the device, and you're going to see the print on the back of it, so you'll know exactly how to route your film. And then you're going to attach it to the pickup reel on the right-hand side. Once you do this, you can begin recording. So here we're going to go into some details of the Wolverine and of film and how to identify different film types. There are two different film types that the Wolverine accepts. The first is 8mm, the second is Super 8mm. Both are obviously 8mm in width. However, the way to tell the difference is that 8mm film frames are roughly 4.5mm by 3.3mm, and Super 8 film frames are roughly 5.8mm by 4.01mm. So here is an example of an 8mm film strip, and here is a Super 8mm film strip. When you are using the Wolverine, you will notice a lever at the bottom of the machine. Depending on the type of film you have, you are going to move that lever either to the right or to the left. The left is 8mm, right is Super 8. So you want to make sure it's on the correct setting before you start recording. Once you have determined what type of film you have, you will mount the reel. And I want you to be very careful when you do this because it is possible to damage the film, especially if your film is very old and brittle. There is a chance that it could break. So once again, you are going to follow the film routing diagram, the one printed on the face of the Wolverine, so that you'll know how to route it. And then once you're in the middle of the Wolverine, you're going to see a little flap door, and you're going to see some sprockets. So you have tab 1 here, tab 2, and then tab 3. You're going to see these 3 little tabs sticking out. So you're going to open the flap door, and then you are going to insert the film into tab 1. That's the one in the middle. And then you are going to twist and clip the film into tab 2, and then you're going to thread it through tab 3. And once these are threaded through and everything is in place, you will close the flap door. If your film is not mounted and threaded properly, then it could get damaged when you are recording. So just keep that in mind. Again, be very careful. If you are not comfortable mounting the film reel, then we may recommend some alternatives to using the Memory Lab because, again, this is very delicate material and we don't want you to permanently damage your film. All right, so you have identified your film type and you have mounted your reel, and now you are ready to start recording. You're going to hit the button on the front of the Wolverine that says Enter Start. That will start recording. While it is recording, this red dot on the screen is going to be blinking. That's how you know it will record. That's how you know it's going. When you are ready to stop recording, you are going to again hit the Enter Stop button on the front of the Wolverine. It's going to take about 2 seconds to stop, so just keep that in mind. There's a little bit of a delay. Once you are good to go and you have finished recording your reel, you're going to take out that SD memory card from the back of the Wolverine, and you are going to insert it into the laptop that we provide you that will be available in the memory lab. It will already be on, and you're going to insert that SD card on the side right here. Once the SD card is inserted, you will be able to transfer that file on the computer. You'll be able to transfer it to your storage device, either your flash drive or USB, or your external hard drive. Typically, a Super 8 or 8mm film that's only like a couple of minutes long will not take up a lot of storage, so you really won't have to worry about having a huge storage device on you. It's really not going to take up a lot of space, so just something to be aware of. Once you are good to go and you've finished and you're ready to dismount the reel, you're going to follow a few steps just to get your reel back in order and get all of your film on the correct reel again. So first you will open the flap door, the one in the center right here. You're going to remove the film from that flap door, and then you're going to close the door again. Then you will swap the reels, so the empty reel should be on the right shaft of the Wolverine. You will follow this diagram routed on the front. It's slightly different, obviously, than the one you used to mount the reel. So you're going to follow the dotted line to thread your reel through. And then you are going to follow instructions that appear on the screen, and you are going to press the enter button to start and stop the rewinding process. That enter button is going to be right here. Once you have your original reel with all of the film on it, you are completely finished. Thank you for watching this orientation. Hopefully it will help you a little bit. Again, step-by-step instructions will be available for you in the memory lab when you arrive. If you think that you're really going to need a hands-on practice with a staff member, then go ahead and contact us. If you are ready to go and to schedule your memory lab appointment, then you may also contact us either by phone or by email, and we can assist you with that. Thank you so much for watching.